Hello and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock Edition showcase and tutorial on my mob heads. It can only mean one thing, that's right, version 3 is now upon us, which means that it must have been the Piglin Brute update, which is kind of a minor update, but we did need to update the pack because of it, and there are a couple of new changes, not too many, a couple of fixes, a couple of changes. We've added the Piglin Brute head. As you can see, it's just like the Piglin head, but it has the line down the eye to show that he's been tough and in fights. The other one we've added as well is the Strider, or the Shivering Strider. We could get the Strider before, but now we can get the Shivering Strider head, and you get those just by killing normal Striders. So because the Striders are a little bit cheeky, they tend to only be warm when they're in lava. If we kill them while they're in lava, you can see their stuff goes straight in the lava and we don't get it, which means it's almost impossible to get hold of a normal Strider head. So what I've done is I've made it so that any adult Strider has a chance to drop either a normal Strider head, or if we're lucky, they're all normal Strider heads, or, he says, keep going, there we go, a Shivering Strider head. So it doesn't matter if the Strider is shivering, it will still potentially drop either a normal Strider head or a Shivering Strider head, and the same when it's warm as well, although you won't get it because it'll end up in the lava. The baby Striders don't drop anything at all, and if you look very, very closely, the Shivering Strider head actually shivers as well, which I think is quite a nice touch, if I don't say so myself. Anyway, so yeah, they're the new additions. And just to show you that it works, the Piglin Brute is here. Let's give him a chop, and you'll see it dropped the Piglin Brute's head, which is amazing. Now onto the bug fixes. There really weren't very many at all. There was only 2 bugs that I really knew about. One of them was that snow villagers, and I know this isn't a snow villager, I don't have a snowy biome to make one in, but they were dropping swamp villager heads. Now they will drop the right biome, they will drop snow villager heads instead. Like I said, I know they're not snow ones, I'm just showing that it works. The other bug was a little bit of an odd one. Because we use these packs on Truly Bedrock, I actually developed them on there first and then move it over to its own pack, which I've done differently this time because I didn't want to get any more bugs. But on Truly Bedrock, we don't allow zombies to break doors, which meant that unfortunately it did sneak into the version 2.0.5 download of mob heads that husks and zombie villagers couldn't break doors. If I turn it to hard now, you will see that both of these will be able to. Let's give them some bait to get to, and they will start breaking down that door. So that has been fixed, which is great news for us, but bad news for the villagers. Now, if you don't want anything to be able to break doors, but you don't want to turn off mob griefing, it just so happens that I happen to have made a completely customizable mob griefing add-on. So let's quickly check that out before we move on. Heading over to FoxyNoTail.com, you'll see a brand new button at the top of my downloads page called Custom Packs. And if we click on that, there is only one, but we can start customizing our very own mob griefing pack by clicking on Start Customizing. And basically, there are a whole bunch of options that you can turn on, like the creeper. If we don't want creepers or charged creepers to be able to break blocks when they explode, we can turn that on. If we don't want the Piglin Brute to be able to open doors, we can stop them doing that. If we don't want Ravagers to be able to break blocks, we can turn that on, and we can turn on or off as many as we want. Then all we got to do is click Create Pack, and that will give us our very own pack featuring those things that's completely unique to you, which is amazing. Now, while we're on here, if we go back to our normal add-ons page, you will see that the one-player sleep pack has also been updated to version 2.1. Version 1.2, which we were using previously, still works, and version 2.0 also works. Let's look at the new one and see what's different. I thought this video was about mob heads. It is, but we're taking a slight tangent just to talk about another pack, which is also very, very useful. The way the 1.2 one-player sleeping pack worked was when you went to bed, it would add time every tick so that the night sky moved across very, very quickly and it became day over time. Doing that was okay, although it could be a little bit server intensive if more than one player was going to sleep at the same time, so I thought I would update it. Now when we go to sleep, what happens is it waits 2 seconds and then just instantly turns the time to morning, which is great. And the 2.1 pack means that it won't rain for at least a couple of days in game. The 2.0 pack, which is available just here, uses the vanilla weather system, which is a little bit buggy, which means that after sleeping it can end up raining every single day. If you don't want it to rain every single day, then you can get the 2.1 pack, and this one has the rain starting every 2.5 days. If you want it to be like it was on 1.2, then you can still use this pack, and that made it so it didn't rain for a full 5 Minecraft days after you slept, which was quite a long time, and people just weren't seeing any rain or thunderstorms, so I thought I'd make it a little bit shorter. Anyway, let's talk about some of the questions I get about my mob heads pack. The main question I get is, why can't I put them on my heads, or can you make them go on your heads, or so and so another add-on developer has one that you can put on your heads, or will you update it when the new item update add-ons change in the next update? Basically everyone wants these things to go on your head. If it was possible, I would do it. Yes, you can do it in a glitchy way, which isn't great. It requires a lot more code into the add-on. It also means if you've got a helmet on your head, or an enchanted helmet or something else, or just another mob head on your head, and you go to put another one on, it will delete whatever's on your head, so the player loses their stuff, which is not ideal. There was a lot of buzz recently about items getting more data-driven stuff going into the Bedrock version of the game. That hasn't happened yet. People are getting excited about being able to create custom skulls. That hasn't happened yet. If it does, I will be on it, and obviously I want these things to go on our heads as well. I'm not putting it so that you have to sit on them just because I like to be different and awkward. It is because it is the most reasonable way to deal with these things until the game catches up with Java Edition. Next question is, why can't I put them on an armor stand? Well, it's the same reason really. They're not a head. If you want them to go on an armor stand, it's quite easy to do. Grab yourself an armor stand, pop it down, put a couple of blocks up behind it, or 3 blocks up behind it for a full-size armor stand, and then just put your head onto that block there. Then grab a piston, put it on that block facing down, and then put a redstone block next to it, and it will go on the armor stand. It won't click onto the armor stand because it's not a skull. It is just an entity, so you just have to push it in place. If you want a small armor stand like this one, that's another pack that Dan Robs Probs made for us on Truly Bedrock. You can download that from my website as well. It is on there, and that's quite easy and fun to use. Another question I get a whole lot is, why can't I place my heads down? They disappear as soon as I place them. I'm assuming people are doing that in a super flat world when they are encountering this bug, and it's not a bug, it is intentional, but it is unfortunate that on a super flat world it does mean they disappear. The reason is these are programmed to despawn at anything below level 5 in the world, or y equals 5, and the reason for that is because we don't want them to get stuck in places that we can't get them out. Let me explain. Bedrock Edition has a lot of bugs, and they also affect some of the add-ons. Unfortunately, when you place water or lava onto these things, they do have a habit of slipping down into blocks and then disappearing. Now, what we don't want is that to happen, and they get stuck at the y equals 4 level and get stuck inside of this bedrock. We could make it so that they despawn at y is 0, otherwise they just carry on floating down the void forever and ever and ever. But we do it at y equals 5 because that's the highest point in the world that Bedrock will start to develop. If this head didn't despawn at y equals 5, it could end up inside that block or that one, and you'll never be able to get rid of it in survival without using cheats, which is not ideal. So that's why they despawn at y equals 5, which means in your super flat worlds, you just need to put them a block higher. Another question I get asked an awful lot is, why have my heads turned into black eggs, and where have all my eggs gone? I can't touch them, I can sit on them, but I can't see them. This is because of the way that Bedrock Edition packs and resource packs work. What you need to do is go out of your game, go into your world, and go to your resource packs, and if you have another resource pack enabled that's not mob heads, just move it down the list so that mob heads is at the top. Then when you go back into your world, the mob heads pack will get priority, and you will see all of the heads come back and your spawn eggs turn the right color. Hooray! And the final question that I get asked an awful lot is, will I make a mini blocks pack? Yes, I 100% absolutely will. I am currently working on it, but it will be a huge pack. There are a lot of blocks in the game. It's going to take a long time. I do have a little bit of help, and I am looking at getting those people organized a little bit more over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, hopefully very, very soon. Well, I say very soon. Hopefully soon you will see some of the micro blocks or mini block packs coming from me. It will be using the same system, basically just retextured mob heads, and they will be using the Wandering Trader to be able to buy and sell them. Oh, and last but not least, what about player heads, Foxy? How do I get player heads? Now, technically, that is just for us on Truly Bedrock because you have to code them per head. It's not like Java Edition where you can just use the skin files that you've got. You need to code each one individually. But I have a sneaky plan for a website function to allow everybody to be able to make and create their own custom packs featuring their own skins and heads. So keep your eye out for that over the next few weeks and months. Anyway, that's enough from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed my add-ons. If you did, do please leave a like. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!